Lumistarbun is a creator that I've had the displeasure of knowing about for almost as long as I've been creating content. All the way back in June of 2020, 4 years ago, I created a video surrounding the rabbit hole that I went down in researching them after speaking to some friends in private and learning of their personal experiences with Lumi, hearing a story about them so unbelievable that to this day I have still not seen the full picture be discussed. So, are you ready for a wild ride? Back when I was finding my footing with content creation, Lumi was known as a semi-successful art YouTuber with an audience rising up to 20,000 subscribers. This channel would be deleted after a string of controversy that started with art theft and tracing, and since then they've changed username a million times. My initial video on this subject was created with HarleyTBS, who is credited with being the loudest critic of Lumi at the time, but it would be after that video that shit would truly hit the fan, and I would be let into a world of information that has haunted me ever since. Regardless, this is probably the best place to start, so let's kick it back with some classic HarleyTBS coverage and explain the situation. HarleyTBS' video, The Real Lumistarbun, would make the accusation that Lumi has doxed another content creator known as Castile, and her boyfriend Matt had assisted in her harassment of this creator.
I've been following Lumi since 2018. I believe I only became part of the drama late 2019 when I found @SergeantPink or Castile via Twitter. I followed her art and found that she had been doxed. Lo and behold, it was Lumi. Take this as you will, for I'm not exactly sure why they started fighting, but it led to Lumi invading on Castile's family with the help of her boyfriend Matt. Lu has posted photos of Castile, has sent pizzas to her address, and found photos of her dad via Facebook and leaked them. And don't forget, kids, doxing someone and spreading their personal information over the internet is illegal.
She would also accuse Lumi of harassing an artist, showing messages from Lumi where they would degrade an artist that they'd commissioned, accuse the artist of tracing, and then charge back said commission.
Another occurrence I can think of was when Lumi commissioned an artist for an art piece. They claimed via DM that they were happy with the result, according to the artist who posted about it. Lumi later went onto her own Twitter and claimed the art was ugly and that she hated it. She said the artist was tracing, which she didn't show proof to, and then filed a dispute to PayPal, in which she received a refund whilst keeping the commission.
The most serious of these accusations was the claim that she had faked her suicide, which will continue to be a repeated claim throughout this video.
And I think the most awful part of Lumi is that she's faked her suicide multiple times, and most recently a few days ago. She often does this when drama makes her look bad or needs attention in order to keep herself relevant. She pretended to shoot herself, has faked going to rehab for depression, and above all lied and manipulated her fans. All of this is completely disgusting. She's apologized, you could say, but this is her just promising to do better, and then repeating the same manipulative ways in the future. Guys, she hasn't gotten any better. I'll show some evidence now, and read through some tweets. Most of her posts have been deleted, but I can only show what I have. Here's a quote of Lumi confessing that she told Matt to commit suicide.
Before you say anything, suicide is not a joke. It was never a joke to me. I am genuinely suicidal from everything that has happened, and I forced Matt to do it. He didn't want to, it's not his fault. I made him do it, and that's disgusting of me. I'm disgusting and I will never be forgiven, but I'm officially going into serious therapy. I won't be active much, and I'm being prescribed antidepressant. I should be okay in a week or so.
This is her lying about getting help once again. People don't often take therapy for a week. It takes time to get through this stuff, and she's in denial of what she's doing is hurting people. Don't tell me she's not. If this isn't, why would she be doing this garbage still? Here is a photo Lumi uploaded on her Twitter claiming she faked her suicide. And this is the recent one, by the way.
I've heard voices for over a year now, telling me to do things, telling me to kill myself and kill others. They even told me to kill my own animals and boyfriend, so I faked it to make it stop. They stopped for a while, but they just continue after. Like I have to fake my own suicide for it to stop. That's why I did it. That's why I lied. To make everything stop. To make me not be crazy anymore. Please understand this and not judge me, as I'm trying so hard to stop, and it's really difficult.
What's potentially even more relevant though is the fact that Lumi's history of controversial actions actually goes back much further than even their art career, or anything that I discussed on the channel over 4 years ago. Back when Lumi was a Minecraft content creator known as Rux, they made nice with another content creator now infamously known as IM Milky, an individual who has now drawn serious concern over claims that they engaged in predatory criminal behavior. How do these videos always lead me back to these people? While Lumi was not aware at the time, a news report would later be uncovered which stated that an individual claimed to be IM Milky was arrested for grooming a 13-year-old.
In 2015, a Brooklyn resident by the name of Yosel Rodriguez created his Minecraft account. Whatever this account was named has been lost to time, but this account creation is understandable. Minecraft was and still is a pretty popular game where millions log on every single day to have fun. But for IM Milky, their intentions seem to be very different. Why? Well, 2015 was also the year that Minecraft YouTubers were starting to be exposed for their heinous interactions online with fans. And the reason I question IM Milky's motives is because just 1 year later, they would be exposed for the same things. In 2016, Joshua Rodriguez was arrested by authorities after the 23-year-old was caught soliciting explicit acts from a 13-year-old. The two had met on Minecraft and had been talking to each other for a while, whilst IM Milky was using a fake name. And after getting the 13-year-old Skype, he enticed this girl to perform sexual acts for him over the app. This included pictures and video calls. Some time passed until the 13-year-old's father looked through a tablet and found the disgusting interactions, immediately reporting it to the NYPD. Investigators eventually got the go-ahead after tracking IM Milky's location to Brooklyn, and then raided his house, finding over 100 videos and images of suspected CP. To quote the sheriff himself, "A great father and good teamwork among law enforcement resulted in this bad guy being held at Rikers. Parents, please monitor your children's electronics and know that there are sexual predators trolling on the net to find vulnerable children." After being arrested, Rodriguez was held on a cash bill for $30,000 at Rikers Island in New York City, and eventually sentenced with probation until 2026. So yeah, not a great start to your Minecraft career.
Throwing this in here, they would later publicly transition and now go by she/her pronouns. At around the same time that they started going by the name IM Milky and became someone of notoriety online.
Hello, my name is Milky, and as the name implies, I love milk and pink. Yay!
I'm green.
Lumi would actually end up being one of the first few vocal critics against IM Milky, showing evidence of IM Milky being an all-round creep before the point where people discovered their criminal situation. This led to them deleting their platforms and rebranding as a quote, mute VR chat streamer. Never mind, it's no surprise that people would soon catch on to this. And people did, at around the same time that their not so wholesome past as a literal criminal came out. This is where it gets even crazier though. Around the same time that Lumi would switch their handle from Rocks and a Tux to Lumistarbun and become the face of a world of controversy, they would rebuild the burned bridge between them and IM Milky. Okay. At the same time, IM Milky would return to their previously abandoned platform, with Lumi creating a post that read, quote, "I'm glad to have my best friend back. Thank you for the support, IM Milky. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for me, and I'm sorry for hurting you. I swear I will do better." Attached to this tweet was an art piece Lumi had created with them and IM Milky hugging. I genuinely believe that if this was a TV show, I would have called it far-fetched. After the spotlight that Lumi's post put on IM Milky, she recorded a VR chat apology video. And it somehow gets worse. She accused the police of lying about her, claiming that she only had a tiny little bit of illegal material on her hard drive, and that the amount had been exaggerated.
I'm 27, and a lot of you may know about the crime I convicted, and why I'm like kind of a little iffy on the whole thing, and why I kind of stayed away from the internet for a little while, and try not to get into too much trouble. Yes, I'm taking a risk, but it's worth it because it's fair to all of you that you know about what really happened with me. So yes, there is an article online about me. If you want to take a look, I'll link you to it, whatever. It doesn't really matter because not everything under is completely accurate. Like, for example, they talk about, if I remember correctly, like over 100 videos or pics of girls doing things. That's not true. Like, as far as I know, I've only had that done with like a few girls, and even then I have a very vague memory of it.
I can't fucking believe the shit that people think is a good idea to say online. They then state that they have changed, are on probation for 6 more years, and apologize for their actions.
So, I'm on probation. I have like, this was 2016, like 6 years left, so by 2026 I'll be free. If I behave, it might shorten, so as long as I'm doing what I gotta do, I'll be fine. But as far as my apology goes, obviously I've made a video like this before using sprites of my IM Milky OC, and I cannot express how like sorry I really am for everything that happened. I mean, there's no forgiving what I've done, and regardless of what people think, I like to look forward and move forward, because if you spend your life depressed and thinking about all the sad stuff, what does that make your life? Like, how are you actually going to be happy and satisfied with who you are and the things you do if you're just going to go hating on people for like, this happened like a couple years ago now, and people are still hating on me for it.
There is no forgiving what I've done, and people are still hating on me for it instead of accepting that I've changed, are not congruent points. Is there anything this video might be missing? Oh yeah, the I was in a dark place argument.
Like, I don't understand why people think that's going to solve anything. And as far as me making a Twitter, yes, it's a little risky, but again, I'm taking that risk because you guys deserve to know that I am deeply and sincerely sorry for everything that happened, and there's no excuse for what I had done. Regardless of my depression, regardless of my anxiety, regardless of my sixth sense or whatever it is that happened, I could tell you, even from experience, when I was on that Rikers Island, which is in New York, it's where people go for like the prison and such, even the inmates and the cops, both parties, looked at me and said, "What did you do? You don't look like you belong here." Because it was something that happened. At the time, I had no control over. If I had to, I'll disable comments on videos. If I had to, I'll mute or block people on Twitter. I will if I have to, but I don't want to. I really, really hate being mean to people. So, just for my closing words here, because I'm rambling at this point, I am sorry, and I want to move forward. And I hope that you guys can actually join me on this journey instead of pushing me away from it. Because it's obviously more meaningful to me if you can actually help me with this. Everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves another chance.
After this video, Lumi, back under the name Rux, would create another profile picture for IM Milky, captioning the tweet, quote, "icon for a friend." They would catch a lot of flack for their choice to remain friends with IM Milky in spite of everything, which would lead to a series of tweets reading, quote, "If you don't like me for associating with IM Milky, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But they have improved so much and haven't done anything bad for years. They are here for me, believing in me, standing up for me, and I adore them for it. Thank you so much for being here. You mean so much to me. Thank you for always believing in me, and I will do the same for you. I'm so sorry for everything that happened and really hope that you're okay. I'm always here for you, and thank you for being there for me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart."
Okay.
This found friendship would not last long though, as Lumi would turn on IM Milky in the months following. Just a heads up, this new account is IM Milky. Don't contact them, just report. Yes, I was friends with them, but it looks like their behavior has continued, so I ended it. Lumi would later release a tweet longer accusing IM Milky of grooming them, and since then, IM Milky's trail has gone cold. Let's refocus on Lumi. When all of this first came out, I was not near as experienced. I had to rewatch the original video that I made back then in preparation for this one, and if I'm blunt, I do not even feel like I was the person who made that video anymore, even though I can literally remember editing it. I say all that to say, with so much time passing that I literally feel like a different person to who I was back then, you would imagine that Lumi would have gone through some growth too. I said you would imagine, because of course they didn't. Since 2020, Lumi has faked their death innumerable times, one of the most infamous being the aforementioned post on their Instagram that they wrote from the perspective of their at-the-time boyfriend, Matt, which they would later confess to forcing him to write. But the more recent of these is likely the worst, using their secret VTuber account to announce that they had cancer, collecting $1,000 to support them. I probably shouldn't need to say this at this point, but this was not true. This is where I'd like to share an accusation that I know a lot more than the public does on, with the current information available to the public being scattered at best. I've referenced an individual known as Matt several times throughout this video. Now it's time I share a little more on who this person is. Matt was Lumi's partner for a long time, until Matt broke up with them to date one of my friends. Lumi chose to attack this friend over and over online, posting photos of their face on Twitter to insult them, sending them abusive messages, the works. Matt would reconnect with Lumi at some point during their relationship with my friend, and behind my friend's back, Matt would cheat with Lumi. Lumi, knowing the impact this would have on my friend, would then go as far as to post Matt's nudes on her Twitter. I mean, fuck him, but also damn. Matt would then split with his partner once this information came out, and Lumi at the time. This led to Lumi drawing him beheaded. This shit feels like it's straight out of a fucking webtoon. What's that one? It's Killing Stalking. Yeah, this feels like it's out of that. And that's where this situation comes to a close. Both of Lumi's main channels have been deleted, and she's not in possession of any notable social media accounts. Outside of an apology video from almost half a year ago now, she hasn't said much on the situation of note, and that apology in itself is nothing more than excuses to justify her prior behavior.
You can find most of my behavior through an online search into YouTube, and there you will be amazed about what a mentally ill kid will do for attention. I'm an attention seeker. I've always been, and I know it, and I've learned to handle that part of me for real now during later years. It's really no need to say it to me again that you're just an attention seeker. I know. I'm not saying it proudly, but it is there, and it is a mental condition that I have. But here's the thing. It's one thing to hold someone accountable and then telling me straight to my face that I'm not worthy of living, just because I did some mistakes.
So, 4 years later, who knew I'd still be doing YouTube? I wonder if I'll make a follow-up to this video 4 years from now, and if so, I wonder what the channel will look like. Anyway, if you'd like to be there for that to see how I'm doing, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I've also linked my other social media in the description down below for those who would like to keep in touch with me elsewhere. Thanks for watching. Peace.
My girlfriend says she needs some time. I think she fucked a piece of guy, so I throw all my feelings away. paycheck is a decent size, but my rent always seems to rise, so I don't got no money to pay. I mean, I feel it, I fucking feel it. By the time I'm getting gotten finished, I handle business. I really need to call my dentist. It's been a minute and pay my credit cards with interest. That shit expensive. I feel it, I fucking feel it. By the time I'm getting gotten finished, I handle business. I really need to call my dentist. It's been a minute and pay my credit cards with interest. That shit expensive.
So far, my head, my goals, I've been up. You rep, you set, your zone, but so what? So tired of giving a fuck. Tell my fucking landlord I'll be back in a month. Yeah.
My girlfriend says she needs some time. I think she fucked a piece of guy, so I throw all my feelings away. My paycheck is a decent size, but my rent always seems to rise, so I don't got no money to pay. Let me put it down like this. Shout out to the devil, yeah, 666, not kidding. I just wanna see if you get pissed when you open up your mouth. I can hear the sound of shit. You cannot harm me, I got an army. Until the day I'm under palm trees, I'm grinding mornings. Don't make me have to call your mommy to do your laundry. You bitch ass niggas work at Arby's and play with Barbies. I mean. I promise you'll find out the path that you chose isn't gold, isn't green. Just live in the right now. That's all you can be.